This is the weekly weather briefing for the week beginning October 13th for north and central Georgia. Here's our main message. Little, if any, rain, unfortunately, is expected through the next 7 days. As a result of this and some things we've seen over the last week, we're going to have high fire danger likely, especially in North Georgia. I'll talk more about the drought here in a little bit, and that also goes with that. Tropical storms are not threatening the continental U.S. or Georgia, but if you're watching the news, you may be hearing about Hurricane Nicole. It passed just south of Bermuda this morning. So here's our forecast overview, just to remind you that it's really little or no rain is the best way to say this. We could see some light rain, not a great chance of measurable precipitation. Mainly Saturday looks like our only chance to get a little bit of rain. So even if you go down towards middle Georgia, look at the bottom of the screen. That's Columbus and Macon, the 7-day forecast. Down in that part of the state, not really even 20% chances showing up on Saturday. Other than that, it looks pretty dry with temperatures quite warm, temperatures in the 80s. In fact, when you get towards Tuesday, parts of the state could be close to 90. So summer may be making a guest appearance again here this fall. Here's an update on the drought. This was just released this morning. The chart on the right shows the area of highest drought. This is called exceptional drought. It's the level 4 category. We're up to about 4% of the state covered, and that's pretty much all of the northwest corner of the state. It's confined to that area for sure. Compare that to what we saw just a month ago. We didn't see any of this exceptional drought level, and just a little bit of the area, about the same area, about 5% or so, in that lower category in the extreme drought, the third level. In the southeast part of the state, looking good there. Of course, they had Hurricane Matthew move through the area, so they got quite a bit of rainfall, especially along the coast, but no such luck in North Georgia. So here's a chart that we showed about 2 weeks ago showing how does this drought compare from the last 10 years or so. If you look back in 2007, there was a pretty significant drought. Many longtime Georgia residents remember that, with Lake Lanier reaching an all-time low, 1051 feet, I believe. During that drought, another drought over the state was pretty significant in 2011 and 12. And on the far right there, you can see where we stand right now. We're starting to see that level 4 drought now creep into the darkest shade. I wanted to focus now on, instead of just Georgia as a state, if you look at northwest Georgia, you can see the drought was also very significant in 2007 and early 2008. And look how different the chart looks on to the right where we are now. So we're not doing so well in northwest Georgia. In fact, that 2011-2012 drought, not nearly as significant in that part of the state. So if this doesn't get better, we do tend to get rain increasing in the winter months, and with cooler conditions and more leaf coverage to stop evaporation from coming out of the ground, we do recharge a lot of our lakes in the winter months. So there may be hope that things will level off, even if we can just get normal rainfall this winter. So where is the rain? Nowhere. Nowhere seen lately. So here's just a look back over 60 days. This is below normal. 50 to 25% of what we normally would get over a 60-day period is in the orange, or the red is 10 to 25%. All the rain is in southeast Georgia, as we mentioned. That was a favorable area for Hurricane Matthew to produce quite a bit of rain. Over the last 30 days, basically those shades of red are no rain that we've seen in the last, little if any rain, I should say, over the last 30 days. We got a little bit of rain in the Atlanta area. There may have been a band or so associated with Matthew that didn't produce a whole lot of precip. Didn't we just have a hurricane? Yeah, but if you can see on this map, it went all to our east. So close to Savannah and Charleston, South Carolina, and they got dumped on. They got over 10 inches of rain in that pink color. The purple and the white, that's 15 and 20 inches of rain in parts of the Carolinas. Georgia, not so much, especially north and the northwest 2/3 or northwest half of the state. Little, if any, rain. That green coloring that's kind of a little bit showing up in Atlanta, and some in northeast Georgia, that green is only less than an inch of rain, not even an inch in the last 2 weeks. So how do we really get affected by drought? Obviously, one is the lake levels. Like I mentioned earlier, we've had a steady drop in the lake level at Lake Lanier. That is usually at 1070. We've been doing well the last few years at holding it near 1070, being able to keep the water levels up on the Chattahoochee that comes down from this lake. But in the last 4 or 5 months, a pretty steady drop. So it's accelerating now because we're in a dry month. We're in a dry time of year also. So that's going to level out, luckily, if we could get some rain and as we get cooler temperatures. that would definitely help the lake levels to level off. But if something doesn't change, that's going to continue to at least slowly decline. So what does it look like today? Actually, this image was taken this morning. So you can see how the shoreline on this marina is pretty exposed. How does this compare to 10 years ago? Not quite as bad. This is what what part of the lake looked like, and this time in 2007 it looked like this here. So that was when we reached close to when we reached the record low of 1051. I don't recall exactly what month that occurred in 2007. But that's what kind of impacts we could be looking at if things don't turn around. How else are we affected by drought? This was a recent wildfire. This was back on the 5th, so just over a week ago. It lasted for quite a while. There were some homes that were threatened in this area, so fire crews had to go out and respond to this. You can see that image on the bottom. That's a fire line where they put in, some controlled burning to try to alleviate some of the fuels that could make a wildfire much more dangerous. So they're doing their job to protect structures. I don't know of many structures that were heavily impacted, but this is a worrisome sign that I don't recall a drought having this many wildfires, at least so soon, being triggered. And you can read that on the left. If you pause the video, maybe you can read that more carefully. But just want to reemphasize, if you're planning any camping, if you're doing any activities with fire, doing a little bit of a small burning in your property, just please be careful. There's a lot of good rules that are out there. If you're not aware of some of these, just pause the video and look at this. And also, please pay attention to your local fire rules or any kind of burn bans for your county. If you have a larger fire, you're definitely going to need a permit with your county to do that. And I'll know for a fact several Northwest counties are not approving burn bans at this time until we get some rain. So keep that in mind, be safe, and we won't put anybody in danger. Here's the bad news again, and another way of showing you as far as the rainfall forecast. This is over the next 7 days. The Weather Prediction Center is not showing any rainfall in our part of Georgia, at least north and central Georgia. Like I said, maybe on Saturday we could get a little bit of light rain over northwest Georgia, but according to this, the confidence is so low they're not even indicating that. Northwest United States and the northwest coast, that's where all the rain is. That's 24 inches there, if you've seen on the map. Over the next 7 days, they're getting quite a bit of rainfall in that part of the country. Just need a pipeline or something to bring that down here. Tropical outlook. Hurricane Nicole is definitely active. But that's about it. No other tropical systems or potential disturbances are being monitored over the next 5 days. So that's good news. And Nicole is moving northeast. Here's a satellite image, and we'll see if that gets transferred into this recording. But did loop at least once. And you can find a map like that on the Hurricane Center, National Hurricane Center website. If you go look under Forecast Tools on Satellite Images, you should be able to look for a floater loop, is what they're called, floater. And here's the specifics on Nicole. It just passed south and east of Bermuda this morning. So as 11 a.m., the center was located very close to Bermuda, just east of the island, I believe. So a very near hit. And remember, the impacts of hurricanes are felt well outside the eye. So they definitely saw some strong winds early this morning in Bermuda. So that's moving away and thankfully shouldn't be affecting anything else except out in the Atlantic. So in summary, no substantial rain or other hazardous weather is expected through the next 7 days. High fire danger is likely, especially in that north part of the state, and drought conditions until we get some rain are going to continue. So that's all I've got. Have a great week, and we'll talk to you later.